I'm out of material, you guys. I think I've talked your ears off enough at this point in time here. Are you guys ready for your next comedian here tonight? Yeah. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming all the way from Russell, Kansas, Sheldon Schween. Good evening, Hays, Kansas. How are we tonight? All right, that's what I like to hear. A little enthusiasm, a good crowd going. And, I've been a regular here doing this here and there, and I see quite a few new names up on the list to come up here. And, I want to thank you all for volunteering to come up and do this. And I was just going to tell you, my 12-year-old son is in the back with me, so don't worry about saying anything, because the things I say in front of him and to him, there ain't nothing going to come out of your mouth but yeah. I mean, hell, we just recently today, I took him to the Happy Time Murders movie. I don't know if you know what that is. It's an R-rated puppet movie, and I've actually got 3 kids. My oldest son's 12, my middle daughter is 7, and my youngest is 5. He's a boy. And, here I was watching the previews for Happy Time Murders, and I was like, I think I could take the kids to this. And then the scene where the puppet's just jizzing silly string all over the place, I'm like, and I look at my daughter, no, and yeah, the last thing I want is my 5-year-old going around, the puppet was spraying silly string all over the office. Yeah, so it was, it's one of those things, don't worry about saying anything in front of him. I mean, I took all 3 of my children to a movie one time, and, it was, there was this, it was a movie about dog shows. And, the little doggies walking around in the shows and all this. And it gets out the same time our movie gets out. And here's all these grandparents, parents, grandkids, and kids walking out of this super family-friendly dog show movie. And me and my 3 children are walking out of Deadpool 2. Which, made me feel like quite the contradicting asshole parent. Here I was in the kitchen. My oldest and youngest were in the living room. And I'm just sitting there doing dishes, and, when you've got 3 kids, the squabbling, it goes from like, oh my God, what are they doing, to like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but I really don't give a shit. I'm just going to tune it out. And so, lo and behold, this one sentence sticks out from my 5-year-old. And he goes, well, it's because you're acting like a retard, you fucking asshole. Needless to say, I had to go outside and laugh and laugh and laugh before I could address the issue. And I'm just kind of like, God, I hope he doesn't say, well, you took me to Deadpool 2. But yeah, it was one of those things. It's when it comes to the word retard, I don't think that applies to people who have extra chromosomes or water on the brain. The word retard, it refers to a normal person like me who's made certain life choices. Because, you could sit down with a mentally handicapped and tell them like half the things I've done in my life, and they just go, why would I do that? I'm mentally handicapped, not retarded. And my youngest, man, he put me in a situation there at Home Depot one time. I'm just sitting there going through the hardware, this and that. I got my 3 kids with me, when all of a sudden this guy comes walking around the corner with a mentally handicapped kid. And it's to the point, he walks like this and makes the noises. And my oldest son looks and knows better. My middle child looks and knows better. My 5-year-old thinks it's the fucking funniest goddamn thing he's ever seen. And, he laughed so loud, the parent was, obviously what happened. And I was like, man, how do I do this? How do I do this? I don't want to be like, now Sage, he has a handicap. You don't need to point or laugh like that. Because, the parents heard that 5,000 times. So instead, I just right on the back of his head and pointed at him. And I think I got the point across, but oh well. This is the same child that, I'd heard of this happening before, but I never thought it would happen to me. The oldest son of mine, he pooped in the bathtub one time, which, that's father like son. I did that when I was young. But my youngest, he took the cake. It was opening season for pheasants, and, we were just starting to potty train. And if there's anything you know about potty training, you can never go negative, because you got to stay positive no matter what happens, because if you get negative, it's backwards progress. So here we are at a little gathering, and he's running around, having a good time, and poops his pants. And I was like, Sage, we just got you in big boy undies. You can't be pooping your pants. And because he was running around all excited, having a good time, all was forgiven. Well, the next day, he does it again. And I was like, no, this is unacceptable. So, and you can judge by how much is going to come out of your kid by how much you put into it. And I was like, judging from the turd in your underwear, there's a lot more in there. So what I did was I was like, you know what, you're going to sit on this pot until it all comes out. And I take his underwear out, I rolled him in the grass, kicking it, took it out to the wash tower and freaking, took the pressure washer to it. And you'd say like, well, why didn't you just throw them away? Once upon a time ago, when me and my ex-wife first started splitting custody with them, she gave me a list down to the very sock that didn't come back to her. So I'm like, I'd better save him, because the last thing I want is to be in court with her going, yeah, and one of my youngest boys' underwear didn't come back. I said, so you're going to sit here till it all comes out. And, I come back in. It's hard to relive that day. The toilet is right here. There's a white tile wall right next to it. And he painted me a picture with the closest available material. And I walk in there and he's like, hi, Daddy! And I'm like, why, hi, Daddy? And I'm like, quit touching anything. And I was just like, I would have pulled out if I'd have known something like this was going to happen. Good Lord, me and my ex-wife, we did some nasty stuff, but goddamn, raising kids is fucking gross. And so I get him in the bathtub, and I get him all starting to clean up, and it's just so hard to give a kid a bathtub with a giant shit smear on your wall. I was like, okay, don't take a picture, don't post it on social media, just when you get him clean it up after that. And I was like, you know what? I might get some value out of this poo-poo Picasso. I go, Seth, Ava, get in here and look what your brother did. My oldest walks in and goes, did he do that? And I'm like, you think I did it? And lo and behold, my daughter walks in and goes, ew, and just bolted out of the room. And I was like, oh Lord, if that keeps her out of the back seat of a boy's car for even just 6 more long months, that is just, that was, So, I'm very fortunate to have my oldest son with me to take him to movies and such. During spring break, he was in an ATV accident and made a $52,000 life helicopter ride to Wichita because he fractured his skull being an idiot. Yeah, you. And so, there he was in ICU, and, my ex-wife drove down there right away, and I went back home with my two youngest and went down to Wichita the next day. And he's there sleeping in ICU, and I walk up to him and I said, "Son, you scared the living shit out of me." And he rolls over and looks at me and goes, "Cool." Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Let's have a great time tonight. And how about a big one for our gracious host, Jeff?
Sheldon Sween, everybody. Give him one more round of applause. All right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm a long ways away from a Netflix special, but hey, nevertheless, I'm getting closer. But as per the title of this video, I don't know if you watched the whole video or you just fast forwarded to the very end, but as promised, an Unfound Infinity Wars Easter egg. Now, it may not be the biggest. You might even like get uber new, but that's not an Easter egg. But no, the Easter egg that I found that no one has yet to mention is in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Nebula says to Gamora, "You've always been a bad liar." And then in Infinity Wars, when Thanos is torturing Nebula, he says to Gamora, "Later."